Yeah, yeah. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yo, 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 yo. What's happening? What's going on? What's good, y'all? You know what it is? That's right. It is the Boxing Swords podcast for January 12th, 2025. And we're just getting things started here in this particular podcast. A number of topics going on in the sport of boxing, particularly with what has been happening over the weekend. So, we want to get into that here in a little bit. And also, want to talk about a few things, particularly that's coming up here in the sport of boxing. Big ups for everyone that's just jumping in here with the live chat going on through YouTube. And we're also on Rumble. Real Prison Talk with Tommy. What's going on with you? My guy, Just Do Boxing in the building. What's going on with you? You will be getting things going and getting things started. Let me see here if I could get this thing cracking correctly and everything like that, so we could get started. We could get going. We could talk about some boxing news and everything like that, man. Because we had a number of newsworthy things that happened over the course of the week, and going to touch on those here. You feel me? And some of it is like disappointing. Also, there's one thing that's kind of been leaking out when it comes to box news here that could particularly give us boxing fans something to look forward to. You know what I mean? But at least for the host, not necessarily looking forward to it. But well, with time permits, we're gonna talk about it. But first on the docket, man, it's Sam Goodman. Oh my God, Sam Goodman, bro. Like y'all know, some of y'all know about the news. There's Sam Goodman once again scratched out from his upcoming bout that he is supposed to have against Naoya Inoue for the undisputed super bantamweight championship. He was supposed to have a fight December 24th. Suffered a cut in sparring. Now, they rescheduled it for January 24th. And man, goodness, man, it's just crazy, bro. It's crazy. So what it is, man, you see the thing here, man. What is this through Athlon Sports? It says Australia Sam Goodman, right? You see if I can get in the news thing here. The Australia's Sam Goodman, whose IBF mandatory shot, basically, against Naoya Inoue, postponed from December 24th to January 24th, as I said, due to a cut suffered in training, reopened the cut while sparring, and is once again out of the fight. Yeah, it says here reports that he's set to undergo plastic surgery. I think that video better not play. What it said? No Limit Boxing, not No Limit Studios. Once again, it's not No Limit Studios. Yeah. Can I speak to P in here? No, it ain't that No Limit Studios. It's No Limit Boxing. All right. No Limit Boxing regrets to announce that Sam Goodman has been forced to withdraw from the scheduled bout against Naoya Inoue on January 24th due to a recurrence of his eye injury or a cut. Oh my goodness, man. All right, I'm gonna continue here. Man, that video better not play. It says we wish Sam Goodman a full and speedy recovery and will provide updates on the event in due course. And yeah, there's an update on the event. Says Goodman is reportedly planning to undergo plastic surgery to fix the injury, which they say is significantly worse than the previous one. Said, following the previous cut, he took the Instagram to address the incident, and he explained, what was happening there for that December 24th scheduled bout to be postponed. But, here it's like, oh my goodness. Now he's out once again. And like I said, it was IBF mandated, right? It's supposed to be IBF mandated. And some of y'all know the story with Sam Goodman, right? He been like around the IBF mandatory for some time. And he had the opportunity to fight Naoya Inoue in what 2024, earlier in 2024. But he was like, nah, you know what? I'll hold back. I'll pull back. I'm not ready right now. I'll come back at a later date. And so that's why we had Naoya Inoue versus TJ Doheny in September last year. But then they had this bout scheduled and we see what's happening. I'm like, man, see, this is why you should go ahead and get that opportunity to fight for undisputed ASAP. Because you never know when you're gonna get that chance ever again. And now here, Sam Goodman with two injuries here that pretty much scratches him off for the bout against Naoya Inoue. And here in this particular instance, I'm like, you know what, man? You might as well just move on from it. Might as well just move on from it. Just keep going. Don't even like revisit it. I know you have Sam Goodman as an IBF mandatory, and the IBF usually be IBFing. And what I mean by that is they, enforce their mandatory, and if you don't fight them, you get stripped. But in this case, the man pretty much declined in the first opportunity that he could have had, which could have been around September last year. Then you had what happened before December, and now this right here, man, you might as well just say, you know what, I'm good on that. I don't need to fight Sam Goodman. He had his chance. He had a shot. He messed it up one way or another. All right, time to move on. So Naoya Inoue is moving on, and it looks like he's moving on against a fighter by the name of Ye Jun Kim. Oh my goodness. And they say Ye Jun Kim is his nickname is Paku Weather. Nah, man, I don't know about all this. Hold up, y'all. Hold up. Those that are on the live chat, those that are watching right now. Hey, I'm gonna see if I can share this on. But y'all those that are listening to the podcast in the audio form, you could be able to look this up as well. But we got Ye Jun Kim here, and I'm gonna see if I got it on. Yeah, there we go. All right, so Naoya Inoue will defend his titles against Ye Jun Kim. He got Ye Jun Kim at 21-2-2. Oh my goodness. And it says 13 wins by way of knockout. He is the number one rated fighter from South Korea. It says his alias is Troublemaker / Packy Weather. Nah, come on. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for 1 second. Nah, I don't. Packy Weather, I don't believe that for 1 second. But there he goes this is 5'4" from Seoul, South Korea. And what it said, man, like he looks like, he's been pretty well traveled here. He's been to, Thailand for a fight. Was over in Australia for a fight. Lost to a Rob Diesel that had a record of 14 wins, 9 losses, and it lost two consecutive fights before facing this Ye Jun Kim, and he beat Ye Jun Kim by majority decision. That's insane. And it was an 8-round bout. It's crazy. But he's been in a couple of 12-round bouts before in the past, but they were there at that super bantamweight division. You see there, he defeated Ryo Kosaka, by stoppage. And what else he had? Like a unanimous decision win in a 12-round bout. So he's been in a couple of 10 and 12-round bouts, but have been back into the 8-round and 10-round joints here on the circuit. With these his past few fights. But in previous conversations that I've had, they talked about this fighter here that's going up against Naoya Inoue. They say that this is potentially the worst world title challenger in history. That man, if that's the case, oh my goodness, we can't even, like, y'all know how the betting odds and the bet lines be when it comes to these fights. Uh, for this one's got to be insane. I don't even think it should be on. To be honest with you, I don't even think it should be on the lines because nobody's gonna be able to make money. Nobody's gonna be able to make money. This is way worse than, like, what I say, 40-1 or 42-1. You know what I mean? With that Mike Tyson Buster Douglas, it's gonna be way worse than that if you put this fight on the bet lines, right? So Naoya Inoue versus Ye Jun Kim. Nah, this ain't the business, man. Shout out to L Dub Boxing, my guy in the live chat, man. What's good with you? Just talking about this thing here with Naoya Inoue is going to be facing Ye Jun Kim on January 24th because Sam Goodman just can't, keep, his out of the way, man. It's insane. It's insane, right? Just can't figure out how to have some defense, up here. Just had another cut to his eye, and that just, completely got him out of the mix as far as like fighting Naoya Inoue. And as I said earlier, with Sam Goodman, you had these two things here, and you might as well forget about it, man. Might as well forget about it. Yo, shout out to Real Prison Talk with Tommy, man. With me on this little apparatus. I can't necessarily see here, but thank you for the contribution here towards the Boxing Source, man. Real Prison Talk with Tommy here in the building, man. Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. All right, so back to this thing here. I guess they tried everything they could to salvage this card and get Naoya in the way, into a fight and whatnot. You feel me? And so that's what you basically had here by having Ye Jun Kim as a replacement opponent. Feel me? And I really don't know what to make of it because, like I said, I mean, they wanted to have, I guess, this fight card at Ariake Arena. I think it was the bout that Naoya Inoue had against TJ Haney, where they were talking about plans for Naoya Inoue to have a fight in the United States through Top Rank, and that's what I was looking forward to. You feel me? And I was thinking that was going to happen pretty much like around February or March, if Inoue would have had the scheduled bout on December 24th. But with it being pushed back, that kind of like delayed those particular plans there through Top Rank. So now here we are, January 24th, and you have Naoya Inoue put in the mix against a guy that is really bad, really bad. Let's see, man. L Dub Boxing asks, Ye Jun Kim a worse world title challenger than Murad Hakar? Oh man, I mean, there was probably like a few other fighters that were mentioned that were world title challengers. But let me see here, man. So I have to check, man. Let's see. So Murad Hakar fought Bernard Hopkins for the IBF and WBC middleweight titles in 2003. He was at 31-3 at the time, going up against Bernard Hopkins, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, man. I think Ye Jun Kim might be even worse than Murad Hakar. So I have to check that. I'll have to check that one. That might be a thing on the poll, that I'll post on Twitter or X or whatever it is. Who is a worse world title challenger? Ye Jun Kim or Murad Hakar? Or I'll probably find a few more world title challengers that probably were insane that they got a world title shot. But like I was mentioning here, with this one, like I said, they just wanted to salvage the event for January 24th after having it delayed from December 24th, right? You're gonna have Jin Sasaki in there fighting. He's in the welterweight division. He's a highly rated contender in the welterweight division. He's gonna be on this card. You got Goki Kobayashi on the card going up against Yuni Takada. So it's a all Japan type of event here. And then what is it? Also, Toshiki Shimamachi is going to be fighting on the card. Well, who's competing in the super bantamweight division himself. So that is what they got scheduled for January 24th. But hey, here with this story about Naoya Inoue facing Ye Jun Kim, it's definitely something there where it's like a crazy look right there, whatnot. You feel me? But I mean, soon. I mean, hopefully, we get something where Naoya Inoue just gets in there, does what he does, handles business, and gets a stoppage and has him, being scheduled what it is for another bout, maybe in April or May or something like that. Maybe it's something here where he could just get a quick win and then be back in the mix in about like April or May. Hopefully with that. You feel me? So that's the thing that I'm looking at with this particular fight. I was just trying to make sure here. Yeah, DraftKings does not have this on. It doesn't have him on the docket. Riddick Bowe versus Michael Dokes and Jesse Ferguson were pretty bad back in the day. Yeah, I mean those are two. Those are another suggestions there. Michael Dokes, yeah, that could be one, right? There's another candidate. You feel me? But yeah, with that being said, man, this is gonna be really, really funny because I don't even know if who is it if ESPN Plus is gonna pick this up as far as like if it's gonna be on ESPN Plus or something like that. You know what I mean? So we'll see how that shapes itself out if we do have something like that. Give shout out to brother Ant McQueen in the building. What's going on with you? Yeah, and I've been slipping around here, man. I gotta hit the go ahead and hit the share button on this joint, man, because y'all hit the like button, y'all hit the share button, you know what I'm saying, to go ahead and support what's going down here with the boxing source, right? So man, I got a few other things here that's been going on, that's been going down and whatnot here when it comes to boxing and boxing news. Know that we had something going down with what Ring Magazine and Turkey Al Sheik and all that type of stuff and whatnot with their little ceremony and their awards and all that good stuff, right? But there was like a lot of fallout, coming from that. You know what I mean? As you had a number of confrontations, uh, a number of quote unquote face-offs, right? And also like something here where we might get a possible huge event coming up later this year. But the thing is, wanted to start off with this whole thing with Devin Miles Haney. Yeah, I keep saying it. The whole thing with him and Ryan Garcia. A lot of y'all have seen it with Bill Haney and Devin Haney, following or I guess waiting for Ryan Garcia to, walk into, his their little, what I guess their truck or whatever they were in as far as like rideshare, taxi or whatever you could call it, right? Almost like trying to push for a fight with Ryan Garcia once again. And my thing is like, why are they doing it this way? I know the whole thing as far as like, whole shock value and all that type of stuff, but y'all could have been calling for this fight from the get-go. Y'all could have been, getting the get back from the rip, right? And I kind of like talked about this before because this to me isn't that much different than the aftermath of Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 2, where you had, Tyson Fury that, won that bout by stoppage, but then had the whole thing as far as like the whole controversy, glove gate, all that type of stuff. And, you had the whole thing with the video by Deontay Wilder, you know what I'm saying, trying to, get back, talking about a crab in the bucket referee and, and a disloyal trainer. Man, that thing always gets me, man. I'm telling you, I can't even get through that part with a straight face, man. Wait, like, come on, man. Why Deontay Wilder had to say that Mark Brealey was a disloyal trainer, man? What was that? Do the Devin Haney. Do the Devin Haney. Oh my God, yo. Oh no. Oh no, man. The, the Devin Haney. That's bad, man. That is bad. Oh my goodness. But yeah, man. So so you had Devin and Bill Haney, there, of course, for that Ring Magazine Awards ceremony that they had in London. Had like a workout that took place. What it was on Friday, there with Devin Haney. So it looks like they're trying to push for a rematch with Ryan Garcia. And I said this months ago, that the most lucrative fight that Devin Haney could have at the point after what happened on April 20th of last year was a rematch with Ryan Garcia. Now, went over what happened, had the thing with the result, the decision, and everything like that. But at the time, Devin Haney was still WBC champion at 140 pounds. Then you had the whole thing with the mandatory where he was, slated to fight the mandatory Sandor Martin. The fight ended up going to purse bid. Only one promotional company bid, and that was Top Rank. And Devin Haney would have been due like 1.5 or 1.6 million for that particular fight. And he's like, you know what? That's it. That's cool. I'm all right. I'm good. Put that off to the side. Well, apparently they worked out something with the WBC and said, hey, we'll have this where you're the champion in recess. Like I said, I don't understand that one. But with that being said, now you had Devin Haney, looking around to see, okay, who will be out there available to fight or whatever it is. But some folks talked about potentially him fighting Teofimo Lopez, and well, the reports are that Teofimo Lopez even turned down that fight. So with that out of the way, what's out there for Devin Haney where it could be lucrative? Yeah, there's been something about him potentially fighting on BOK Prime. Who knows where that's going to go? Who knows where that's going to go? Like, who's going to be fighting on BOK Prime? Blair the Flair Cobbs? Like, nah. Like, Adrian Broner? Nah. And then potentially it being a Don King Productions card? Nah, I don't know if you don't want to, go ahead with all that. You know what I'm saying? So for Devin Haney, it's more about, okay, if you know that you have a price point for, when you fight, or if you fight, okay, now you got to look for an opponent that will make it worthwhile and who will be, interested enough for the fans to tune in for the fight. Like I've said it, like it would be really interested to see who Devin Haney fights next after what happened last year. But now it's like, okay, if he's looking to try to fight Ryan Garcia here once again, that could be another event, I guess. But remember, Ryan Garcia is still not able to have a professional fight until after April 21st of this year, something like that. So the full year suspension, right? So unless if you I'm still laughing about that dude to Devin Haney. That's crazy. That's insane. But even with that, right? You got to see if Devin Haney will be able to get himself in the ring against, I guess, a notable opponent, and then maybe that'll be good enough there for people to be interested with that. You know what I mean? What is it? Showbiz said, I want Devin Haney's defense with Deontay Wilder's power. Is that what is that? To quote Booker T, he didn't say that. Tell me he did not just say that. Anyway, come on, no. That ain't good. That ain't good. Now, but yeah, with that being said, I'd be interested to see what happens here at this point. But the way that the method that they're trying to do this is, all the stuff that's like all for show and everything like that. I'd rather just say, hey, you know what? Let's just get this done. Let's do it. I want my get back. Let's make it happen. And if you have something like that going on, then I'd really be cool with it and see what Devin Haney would do in a potential rematch against Ryan Garcia. You feel me? So yeah. So you did have that on one front, and then the other thing that was brought up, at least to me, here from what was going down there during that Ring Magazine ceremony or whatnot with Ryan Garcia. Looked like he had like a confrontation of sorts with Conor Benn, which I found to be weird, at least to me, right? Like, what would Conor Benn have anything to do with Ryan Garcia in any sense, form, or I don't know. Maybe because both of them were suspended, from boxing. Maybe that's pretty much where it could come from. But outside of that, I just don't see any type of connection. I don't see what would make a potential fight between those two interesting in any form or fashion. So I don't understand like why they would have like a conversation there and that on that front. You know what I mean? Um, oh, okay. Yeah, I have no idea what he be doing. I don't really follow him like that, so I don't know what you talk about legacy, man. Like that. It's crazy. That's crazy. But like I was talking about there with Conor Benn, right? Because Conor Benn is supposed to be what the top contender there in the WBC rankings or around that top part of the WBC rankings. So it could be a potential fight that he could have against Mario Barrios. So why even entertain Ryan Garcia when you could have an opportunity to become a world champion if you lock in a fight with Mario Barrios? Like that, to me just didn't seem right whatsoever. And also wanted to see if I could have gotten one of my colleagues here to join in here on today's session because they have brought up to me that you could have something where what it was like a little bit of it was like a respectful face off though, a face off though nonetheless, where you had Martin Bacoli and Anthony Joshua. Now, listen, it's a heavyweight division. Anything could happen in the heavyweight division. And that fight could have been something that could really be interesting in the heavyweight division. You feel me? So, like seeing them there during that event thing and whatnot, hey, that could have been something there really really good, right? Also, because listen, you have Efe Jagba currently, well, not Efe Jagba. I'll talk about him later. But Martin Bacoli is there number 3 in the IBF. Anthony Joshua is at number 6 in the IBF. Now, as far as I know, Martin Bacoli is supposed to be like the top contender available there in the IBF rankings and could be next in line to fight for the IBF heavyweight title. And they were trying to, see if they could come up with a fight for him. And they ordered like Bacoli versus who it was, Age Cabiel, and they ordered Martin Bacoli versus Zalea Zhang. They didn't happen, and we all know that Cabiel and Zhang fighting on February 22nd. So then they talking about Martin Bacoli versus Efe Jagba, and it looked like that could be the fight. But at least from what I've seen, I haven't seen anything as far as like the fight being finalized, a fight being signed, any type of date, none of that. So I hit up the IBF. The IBF be IBFing. I hit them up. I said, hey, what's the update on this? If you could hit me up with an update, that would be really appreciated. So I'm waiting for the IBF to say something because you need an update on this thing here because, like, either way, a fight between Martin McCauley and Efe Ajagba would be something. But if you could have a fight between Martin McCauley and Anthony Joshua, that would be insane. And given that it was part of this Ring Magazine thing, you know who's behind Ring Magazine now. So maybe he could kind of like have a little bit of an influence in making that particular fight happen. But that just remains to be seen. You feel me? But yo, real quick though, big thanks for everyone that's listening live here through YouTube and Rumble. And if you can, hit the like button, hit the share button. Also, we appreciate it. You know, contributions there and whatnot. Let's see here, man. I have a little bit of this rolling ads or something like that, man. If I could run that here real quick, you feel me? So, yeah. So just big ups for everyone that's currently listening live and everything like that. We appreciate the support here on the Boxing Source. Y'all check out the YouTube page. We have like a bunch of content on the YouTube channel right now. I've yet to put some of the stuff on Rumble, but we had like conversations with. We have conversations with Jesus Ramos Jr. We had like another conversation there with Keon Davis, right? And of course, a whole bunch of people who talk about, conversation that I had with Floyd Schofield Jr. and Floyd Schofield Sr., man. Yeah, man. So that's what's been going on. That's what's been going down, man. So I'm going to see here if I could do this as well. So I'm going to jump that. Yeah. All right, bet. So, yeah, we all good on that. Omar Salcido. I don't know, man. Probably do something. Legacy Man says, Tank wants Ryan because he's looking to cash out and disappear in the sunset. Nah, he shouldn't do that. Tank shouldn't do that. He really shouldn't. He shouldn't. I think that he has a plan, and that the plan has pretty much been, executed. I think with Tank being, as they say, quote unquote, the face of boxing, they had something worked out with Amazon Prime pay-per-view. And, this is just coming from me. This ain't coming from, any sources or anything like that. This is just, my view on it. I think they already have something lined up for Tank Davis for 2025. And they probably had it like before, we went into 2025 with a few fights that would be on Amazon Prime pay-per-view, and all of them would be huge events. Just that, this one coming up is pretty much like something where, the people or the opponents that he originally planned didn't want anything. So we'll see what happens here after March 1st. He has a win over Mark Rhodes Jr. And then after that, we may see a couple of big fights, big events there involving Gervonta Tank Davis there. Hold on, Tommy. You saying who's about to fight? Oh yeah, you talking about the Andy Cruz joint? Yeah, that's January 25th, part of that card where you're gonna see Steven Nelson going up against Diego Pacheco in a huge bout there in the super middleweight division. That's gonna be a real good fight to look forward to. And also the joint there, like you said, with Andy Cruz and Salcido, that's gonna be a really pivotal fight there for Andy Cruz. You feel me? It said what Ryan can't even make 140 pounds. So you think Tank's gonna fight him at 147 pounds? Nope. And what was it that Leonard Ellerby said? Tank is a 135-pound fighter. So you ain't. Yeah, I don't even think Tank Davis is gonna be north of 135 pounds. I just don't. I don't. With that being said, man, what else they got going on? What else is the action that's happening here? Hold on just a moment. Let me see here, because I may have something that is happening what is it later on down the line? Hold on just a moment, y'all, because I got a couple of messages that's blowing up the phone or whatnot like that. Let's see here. Hold on a second. So because I might um have something scheduled on social media later on here for folks to kind of like tune in and whatnot. So that's the thing there. So I was trying to mix up what's going on back and forth with that, right? But yeah, that was most of the other stuff that I kind of like seen from the I guess the Ring Magazine Awards or whatever they wanted to call it over there. But also this one kind of like I don't know what the percentage of this is happening or whatnot. I know that we have what is it one time from a guy there, L Dub, maybe he has something there too. But I've heard from a couple folks, and this is also given something that was posted on social media that we might be close to a super fight between Santos Saul Alvarez Barragan and Terrence Allen Crawford. Yeah. Look like Terrence Crawford had made a post talk about, I'm gonna prove to y'all once again that I'm the guy, or I'm gonna prove y'all wrong once again, or something like that, or whatever. And well, it looks like maybe they had something where they're working towards maybe having Canelo versus Terrence Crawford. I hope not. I hope not. It's not. It's not that folks may think that Crawford may be more of like what happened with Jermell Charlo when Jermell Charlo fought Canelo Alvarez, but we'll have to see here if they actually try to make that particular fight. Real quick, what is it on the chat? Shout out to Legacy Man on the chat says Conor being weighed in at junior middleweight 150 and a half pounds in his bout against Pete Dobson. And Ryan said he had gone to 154 after he beat Devin. However, Tank is still fighting at lightweight. Listen, y'all don't know how small Tank Davis is. Come on, y'all. Like, he is not that tall. He's not that big, man. Like, listen, if he could weigh in at 132 pounds in some of these fights, like, come on, like, what are we talking about? I mean, this is a guy that is listed at 5'5.5". Listed at 5'5.5". Yeah. So I'm like, how is Tank Davis going to be? How is Tank Davis going to be able to get to 147 pounds, or at least a good amount over 143 or whatnot? Like, nah. It said rather see Ryan fight Boots at 147. Makes more sense to move up more gradually and steadily. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, man. We shall see. We shall see. Goodness, man. Like, man, having this podcast, like my phone blowing up and all this type of stuff, man. Like, what's going on here? What's happening? You know what I mean? But yeah, that for Ryan Garcia, yeah, he might as well just be above 140 pounds for the rest of his career, or how long his career is going to last. You feel me? I know that he was scheduled to have a exhibition bout in December, and that that was kind of like scratched out. So here you go. Ryan versus Boots. He might be the same. You might see Boots break him up. Hey, I don't know, man. That would Oscar De La Hoya approve that fight? That's the question. Would Oscar De La Hoya approve that fight, as Ryan Garcia is still, under contract with Golden Boy Promotions? I don't know how that's going to work out. I really don't. Like that just doesn't really look all too hot for me. So I don't know where that would kind of like come from in that particular sense. Um, so yeah, so with that being said, man, what else? Oh, here we go. Yeah, the whole thing with this Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, I guess Devin Haney had made a post in reference to this, man. I'm gonna see if I could, pull it up here because looks like they tried to, do something in order to, make this happen. This is, geez, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I said when I said the most lucrative fight available out there, is a bout between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, man. And then, so I guess Ryan Garcia said something to the extent of like Garcia will fight Devin Haney only if Devin Haney drops the lawsuit, change the drug testing from VADA to something else, and have some other things. I'm like, come on, man. Like, what are you doing here, man? Man, yeah, like what's going on, man? What is going on here? See, you know what? I feel like this fight's gonna happen, and it's gonna happen under Riyadh season. I'll probably be there in Saudi Arabia in April or May or something like that. You may see another Riyadh season event in April or May, and that will be the headlining fight. Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. That's crazy. You know what I mean? What else we got here, man? Yeah, Legacy Man. Yeah, said tanking his team. Said multiple times it's easier for him to make 130 pounds than to make 140. I'm telling you, he's a little dude. Like y'all, like come on, like what are we talking about? Oh man. He said Oscar didn't approve Kid Austin versus Secure, but if the fighters really want it, it will happen. Yeah, Oscar didn't approve initially Ryan Garcia to fight Tank Davis, and Ryan Garcia pushed for that Tank Davis fight. Will Ryan Garcia push for a fight between him and Jerome Boots Ennis? Man, I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. Yeah, the promoters work for the fighters, not vice versa. I mean, that's how it's supposed to be, but in a lot of cases, we don't get that. We don't get that, and it's just crazy sometimes with some of these notable fighters, how they've been able to either get fights or be denied fights because of their promotional company. So it's an interesting thing there. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just feel like with the whole thing between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia now, especially after what's happened this weekend, there's no other route, at least for me, for them to then to fight each other. Now the difference is number one, when is it going to be? And number two, where is it going to be? That's the whole thing about it. You know what I mean? And I just feel like they're just gonna have another Riyadh season thing planned. It's gonna be around April or May, and they're gonna have it, in Saudi Arabia. I don't know if they'll have it back here in the States for that, even though that could be something. But after what happened in Los Angeles for Riyadh season, I don't know if Turkey Al Sheikh is gonna have another event, Riyadh season event in the US. He might have something where another promotional company handles everything and then it'll just stick on the Riyadh season sticker on it. But outside of that, yeah, I don't see nothing much from that happening. You feel me? So there's that, man. But that's like mostly the talk that's been going on out there. I guess after what had happened during those Ring Magazine awards and whatnot. So that's kind of what they had here in this sense. You feel me? But outside of that, I mean, there we got a couple of events coming up at least here this weekend. I know that there's a series of fights that's happening over in Philadelphia, 2300 Arena. I have an interview with the sharpshooter Greg Outlaw. He's going to be on that card at the 2300 on Saturday. You're also going to have Tierra Brown on that fight card, right? And you're supposed to have Hammer and Hank Lundy on that card as well. From what I've seen, is scheduled to have 13 fights on that card via Cohen Promotions. 13 fights, man. That's insane. 13 fights. Damn. It's going to be a marathon. It's going to be a marathon. But if you haven't done so already, you could go on currently the YouTube channel and you can check out the interview that I had there with Greg Sharpshooter Outlaw, as he's going to be fighting on that card coming up on Saturday night at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. We had like a couple of fights, other fights here just happening this week, but like I said, just going towards what's happening the following week. Naoya Inoue will fight Ye Chu Kim. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's terrible. That is absolutely terrible. But on January 25th, like I said, super middleweight battle: Diego Pacheco versus Steven Nelson. They're in the 12 scheduled for 12 rounds. They're, like I said, super middleweight. Both fighters undefeated. Steven Nelson is out there in Vegas, preparing. You listen to the interview that I had with Keon Davis. He said that he's been working with Steven Nelson while Nelson is preparing for his bout against Diego Pacheco, as Pacheco is around that height, 6'3", 6'4", like Keon Davis is. So, Steven Nelson is, trying to work on someone that's, kind of tall and rangy like a Diego Pacheco is. So having someone like Keon Davis is good work there for Steven Nelson for him to prepare for his bout against Diego Pacheco. And also mentioned here through the live chat, you're going to have Andy Cruz versus Omar Salcido. That is going to be a really, really interesting bout on there as well. You're going to have Ernesto Mercado versus Jose Pedraza on there. And Zakeem Moses is scheduled to have his second bout? That should be his second pro bout, because I was able to make it to his pro debut that he had at the Wells Fargo Center on November 9th. That was one where, man, I had to, go from Norfolk, as you had the fights there with Keyshawn Davis versus Gustavo Lemos at Norfolk, and drive from Norfolk up to Philadelphia and make it just in time to see Zakeem Moses versus Michael Ruiz in his pro debut. Well, he's going to be fighting in his second pro fight against Alex Paulette. That's scheduled to be on that fight card as well. So you're gonna have a few interesting fighters to look for in that fight card on January 25th. That's going to be in Las Vegas. So that's real busy thing there. He said he's rocking with Steve Nelson. I think he's rocking with Steve Nelson there, man. So cold Steve Nelson, not Stone Cold Steve Nelson, like Stone Cold Steve Austin. All right, like, come on. What are we doing? All right, so that is, pretty much the schedule here coming up for the rest of the month. And then, of course, February 1st, PBC on Prime pay-per-view, David Benavidez versus David Morrell Jr. Telling you, that's going to be a fight. Then you got the rematch, Brandon Figueroa versus Stephen Fulton. You're going to have Eastot Cruz versus Angel Fierro, and Jesus Ramos Jr. against Jason Rosario. That's going to be on the pay-per-view card. Like I said, I do have posted Jesus Ramos Jr. conversation with Jesus Ramos there as he's preparing for his bout against Jason Rosario. So y'all can check that out currently on the YouTube channel. And then also they added in Yuenli Hernandez versus Angel Ruiz and Mirko Cuello versus Christian Olivo. And they're supposed to have even more fights on that card. Man, I gotta, because it's like that. That's going to be another marathon of fights that's supposed to be scheduled on that fight card as well on February 1st. They're scheduled to have see if they're going to have Carmel Moten on there, and seeing if they're also going to have John Easter on this card as well. So I have to see, how that's going to shape up. And then a couple more fighters is supposed to be on there. They say Jose Benavidez Jr. is supposed to be on this card as well. So yeah, we got that. Legacy Man here on the chat says, "What do you think of Plant versus Bumwanga?" I think it'd be a really good fight. I mean, they had their little face off or whatever it was back in May of last year. And then I guess at the time, maybe Edgar Berlanga knew that he was going to be in line for the Canelo fight. So that's why we didn't get it last year. Now that, Edgar Berlanga has got paid, paid from that Canelo fight, it looks like he chilling. Looks like he chilling. He good. Like, I mean, what was it? Some folks are talking about him potentially fighting Gabe Rosado. And I'm like, come on, y'all. Nah, man. We don't want him fighting no Gabe Rosado. We want to see if he is, able to, have some real fights under his belt, as some people say, right? Because at the time, Edgar Berlanga, even though he was rated number one in the WBA or something like that, right? Not many people thought that he really fought somebody to really get to that spot. And now in a super middleweight division, when you got fighters like Christian and Billy, when you got Lester Martinez, when you got, Jaime Munguia, even though Jaime Munguia got, hit with a 2-piece and a biscuit, right? Now you got, Osles Iglesias. You got, Kevin Sajo, right? All of there in the super middleweight division. Like, we need to see Edgar Berlanga against these fighters. I've been calling for a long time, even before Edgar Berlanga was facing Canelo Alvarez. I was calling for Edgar Berlanga versus Diego Pacheco, and we ain't even got that. So I need to see Edgar Berlanga against a number of these other fighters in comparison to a former world champion, IBF super middleweight champion in Caleb Plant. So yeah, if he wants to get embarrassed, he would fight Caleb Plant. All right. Yeah, like Tommy here is saying, Plant would take Edgar to school, man. Yeah, that's exactly what would happen there if you had this potential fight. Like, come on, what are we doing there? What are we doing? But that's mainly it. What we got so far. I will. Yeah, looks like I will have something scheduled on social media. Looks like we're gonna see if we could be on Instagram. We might have Instagram live as scheduled later tonight. You'll hear as far as like Eastern time. So be on the lookout for that. But that's mainly what I had here, at least for this particular episode of the Boxing Source podcast. Once again, Sam Goodman getting another cut and sparring. Like Naoya Inoue, you might as well just move on, fight MJ Akundaliev, or go ahead and give my guy Elijah Pierce a call or something. You know what I mean? Just move on from Sam Goodman. Like I said, I know he's there as an IBF mandatory. Just move on, from all that. You know what I mean? Just move on from that. Shout out to my guy, brother Joseph Aaron, here through Warwick Boxing, checking in here late, and everything like that. Have to see if he got something scheduled here later on, if he's gonna be on with Coach Gogi or not tonight. But yeah, Sam Goodman, you had your shot, you had your opportunity, and sometimes it just doesn't, align right. You could wait it out and see if Naoya Inoue moves up to 126, and then you could, fight for the world title then. I mean, you could have that as an idea. But at least right now, as far as like fighting Naoya Inoue, you had your shot last year, and you pretty much like passed on it. So it is what it is. And then also, like I was saying, reference to Devin Miles Haney and Ryan Garcia. Yeah, we might see that as far as like another Riyadh season event later this year. Don't be surprised if we see Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney Riyadh season, Saudi Arabia in May or June. I'm just putting it out there just as a something that may go on. right? But outside of that, that's mainly what I got. Once again, big thanks for everyone that's listening live. Shout out to brother there. Shout out to Android there, man. Just jumped on here. What does this thing say? It says Haney Garcia 2 is a fight that needs to be pitched to Netflix as a one-off event in the US to grow the sport, not overseas in the afternoon and hidden. Android, shout out to Android. Shout out to Android on that. Big shout out on that one because, yeah, I mean, we seen what happened there. What was that? April 20th, 2024 at the Barclays Center. And you seen what was happening there leading up to the event. And y'all know about Ryan Garcia doing all this. So something like that is an event. And an event with two fighters like that needs to be in the US, right? And regardless of the aftermath of the fight, looking at the fight and the fight result and the immediate reaction after that result got boxing fans buzzing. You need that back here in the States for that rematch, right? Like I was saying before, you had what happened Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, the second fight in February of 2020, and then the aftermath of that. And then you've seen leading into Wilder Fury 3, Fury Wilder 3, whatever you want to call it. You see how that ended up. And at least that particular fight was probably one of the best fights in the heavyweight division that we've seen in years. Probably you could say it was better than Anthony Joshua versus Vladimir Klitschko. You know what I mean? Actually, I would say it is better than Anthony Joshua versus Vladimir Klitschko because you got a couple of knockdowns from both fighters there in this Fury Wilder fight, and you had a real like a definitive finish there, and like a brutal one there with that one, right? But here with Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, like this is something there where it could say, hey, you know what, Devin Haney, you need to get this back. You need to get this back. It don't matter, what was, on how much was in the system there, Ryan Garcia. Thing is, like, some people still view you as losing that fight, right? So you got to go in there and you got to show, like, hey, you know what? People expected you to pretty much wash Ryan Garcia in that first fight, and they didn't see that. You said that folks thought that you were one of the more talented fighters in the sport. You had the accolades, undisputed champion at 135 pounds, WBC champion at 140 pounds, going in there undefeated, and then had the performance that you had there against Ryan Garcia. Now, what you got to do is you got to get that back. You got to prove that you're levels above Ryan Garcia. So why not have the fight once again? And you know what? Have it in Vegas. Let's do it. Feel me? All right, bet. What he said? Bill Haney is mad at Southpaw for calling his son Glassjaw, pilly-fisted, fake Muslim, and something with no personality. Goodness gracious. Oh, man. He said Southpaw takes it too far sometimes. Hey, oh, man. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. But, like I was saying, man, like I've said this for months, the best fight that Devin Haney could have here at this point is have that rematch with Ryan Garcia. And that's what I got with that. All right. So that being said, that's a close here for this particular episode of the Boxing Source podcast. Once again, thanks for everyone that is listening live here through YouTube and Rumble. It'll be available in an audio form through Spotify, iHeartRadio, or whatever you listen to, on your headphones, on your earpods, whatever it is. It'll be available, there as well on that, right? And we're gonna have even more content here planned for you, at least through YouTube. And yeah, I'll try to get some of the content on YouTube through the Rumble channel And then also, I may think about trying something again this coming week. But it might be a Rumble exclusive on that because YouTube, y'all might know what I'm talking about, but YouTube, y'all gotta slow down, man. Listen, I'm just all I'm doing is I'm promoting an event. Okay, that's all I'm doing is promoting an event. If I gotta do it a certain way, so be it. But right now, I'm not necessarily trying to take that risk because y'all trying to get me. Y'all trying to get me. And we ain't gonna do that over here at the Boxing Source, man. We need to stay consistent here on the Boxing Source. Okay. So with that being said, that's all for me, JR Bella, the Boxing Source. Salute to y'all, man. I am out. Peace.